Hello everyone and welcome back. It's me, Finley Davidson, again here with my second episode of my wrestling review slash talk show thing. Don't really know what it's turning into just now, but just going to see how it unfolds. Today we're going to be talking about Monday Night Raw from the 15th of June, so last night's episode of Monday Night Raw. And we're going to go through all of it a bit in detail, and there's loads to get through. There's so much in this episode of Raw that we need to cover today. So going to jump right into it. Start off with a Randy Orton promo, how he came out to gloat over how he punt kicked Edge in the skull and also tore his tricep clean off the bone. He also said that obviously Edge isn't going to be able to return until July of 2029, where he might see him then. He gets interrupted by Edge's best friend Christian, who berates him for gloating and just assures him that that Edge will be back and that it won't end on Randy Orton's terms, it'll end on Edge's terms. To which point Randy Orton challenges Christian to one more match. Blew me away because, as they pointed out in the promo itself, Christian is not medically cleared to compete. So Randy Orton challenges him to an unsanctioned match. And if he doesn't accept, he is a coward. It then goes to Angel, Garza, Zelina and Andrade backstage. Now the tension is slowly building between Angel, Garza and Andrade after Andrade blames Angel Garza for his loss on Sunday at Backlash. He shakes hands and hopes that the Angel Garza can deal with the defeat to Kevin Owens later on if it comes. Which we do have Angel Garza versus Kevin Owens. It was a good wee match. I mean, it's fine for TV. Furthers the story more with Garza, Andrade, and Zelina rather than anything with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens beat Angel Garza in pretty quick succession, but Angel Garza blames the loss on Andrade for a distraction. My opinion, Andrade tried to distract Kevin Owens, and Angel Garza didn't capitalize on it. He instead got all flustered and ended up taking a stunner. But either way, the tension is rising there. Zelina had to come out and berate them like a couple of children, which I loved. I thought that was great. Just to remind them that she's really the boss in this, and they're just there to do the dirty work, essentially, in my mind. But they are still. I'm very interested in seeing where that is going. MVP and Lashley are then having a conversation backstage, where they're talking about what happened last night and what happened on Sunday. Sorry, and. He goes out into the ring, continues saying that Drew McIntyre wouldn't be WWE champion if it wasn't for the interference of Lana, which brings Lana out. MVP calls her a thought, which was absolutely brilliant. I wish there was a live crowd there because they would have gone mental over that, but I think that was beautiful. And Bobby Lashley asked for a divorce, making it Lana's second divorce in 8 months. I think that was pointed out. So, not a very happy time for Lana. So I think that means Lana's out of the Bobby Lashley equation. I think MVP, as you see throughout the rest of this show, he kind of tries to recruit a number of superstars to his little group. He tries to get Shelton Benjamin, and he also tries to get Apollo Crews. And I think that could become a really nice little stable there. And I'll touch on that a little bit more in a wee second there. Also, now after that, it's the Viking Prophets, and I wasn't a fan of this at Backlash, and I'm still not a huge fan of it just now, mainly because why the hell is there ninjas? Like, I just don't get the ninjas. I don't find it all that entertaining. I really liked Eric Bugenhagen in the crowd with the Street Profits. That was really entertaining to see. I think he's just fun to watch, Eric Bugenhagen, and I hope we get to see more of him. I always get a wee smile when I see him in the crowd, so always good to see him there. There's an 8-man tag between the Profits, the Viking Raiders on the same team against the Ninjas. I just didn't care in the slightest. It just wasn't for me at all. And the big ninja gets in the ring after it's over, and then the Big Show comes out, and it's just, it's just not really for me. It's not my cup of tea. I'd rather see Big Show. Big Show is used better on in the night. I think this is just to show that Big Show's there, but somehow Big Show becomes the voice of reason for the episode of Raw tonight. Which, it happens. Good on Big Show. I love Big Show. I think he's great, but I'd rather see him be used in better roles, like what he did with Christian later on, and the way that you just suggested, just have the match between the Profits and the Raiders. That just makes a lot more sense than anything else. Seth Rollins then comes out and cuts his promo on Dominic. Again, Seth Rollins has always been good on the mic, but what we didn't see coming was we knew Dominic was going to be in the building, and he came out of nowhere and attacked Seth Rollins. It's fantastic, brilliant. Didn't see it coming. Excited to see where this is going now, especially with Ray coming back next week. But Dominic managed to get a sneak attack in, throw Seth Rollins into the stairs, and evade Austin Theory and Buddy Murphy. So 1-0 to Dominic over the Monday Night Messiah, which I liked. I think it's a good building block to when Ray comes back, and I think it's only going to get better from here. R-Truth is again on the run from MVP and Bobby Lashley after they called him a clown. And Drew backs him up because they have a big tag team match later on. And the MVP lays down the challenge of winner take all in the tag match. So the 24/7 title that R-Truth holds and the WWE Championship that McIntyre holds are up for grabs in that tag match. This is when I start biting my nails, because I'm like, I don't want to see Drew lose the championship because R-Truth gets pinned. And out with that tag match, I was like, well, it's either going to be R-Truth or MVP that get pinned. And I'm like, I don't want this to happen. So I was very nervous throughout the rest of Raw, just in case that was going to happen. And it didn't get any easier from any other segments with R-Truth and Drew McIntyre. We then got to Liv Morgan versus Natalya, and I've been a big fan of Liv Morgan since WrestleMania. She actually beat Natalya at WrestleMania, but now they're teaming up, and Natty's got this wee turn going on, very slow one, where she doesn't feel like she's getting the respect that she deserves. They get beaten quickly. The Iconics, they're much more well-oiled team, and they defeat them quite handily. The Iconics then call out Bayley and Sasha Banks for a match on next week's Raw for the WWE Tag Team Championships, which, as I said, the next main roster opponents for Bayley and Sasha were going to be the Iconics, because they weren't pinned at Backlash. So, that's my thinking cap paying off there. I do pay attention to this stuff, After that, Big Show has a chat with Christian, saying, I'm not going to tell you whether you should or shouldn't, but if that was me, then I'd be knocking him out with this. Basically telling Christian to go for it. You can't let him get away with this. So really good from Big Show there, being the voice of reason, but also kind of encouraging in the right way. Next, we have Natalya berating Liv Morgan for making some rookie errors in their tag match, which I don't think there was many. I think the Iconics are just a better tag team. I mean, they work together day in, day out. They've been to high school together and everything. So it makes sense for the Iconics to win against this makeshift team. But Natalya still berated her. Liv Morgan just not having any of it. She walks away. And then Lana comes up, and her and Natalya have a bit of discussion. So maybe that's a new partnership coming on. Maybe Lana's going to get back in the ring. Maybe she's going to manage Natalya. I don't know. It's something new. So I'm interested. For now, I'm very optimistic about any wrestling, and I'm always as positive as I can be. So I'm not gonna crap on it until I see where it goes and see if I am invested or not. Right now, I don't think it will be something that will overly invest me. But, never say never. It could end up being really entertaining. MVP talks with Apollo Crews again, offering him to join his little group of people, which I think will be a really interesting dynamic if he does it. But he basically says, if you want to remain United States champion, you got to be with me. And obviously it means that, Apollo initially says no, but I can see the little wheels turning in his head afterwards, like, maybe, just maybe. And I think that would be fantastic if MVP had a stable of Bobby Lashley, Apollo Crews, Shelton Benjamin, obviously in a WWE.com exclusive, I think it was. So again, even that added in would be a really interesting dynamic. Next we have Apollo versus Shelton Benjamin, non-title match. And this is where I think Apollo Crews might actually join up with MVP, because after Shelton Benjamin got caught using the ropes for a roll-up, Apollo Crews does the same thing, and he uses the ropes, so he cheats to win. The babyface cheats to win, which makes me very interested indeed, because I think Apollo might be going to the dark side. He might join him with MVP. You have Lashley in the main event scene. You have Apollo as the United States champion. If he recruits two others as a tag team, you can have something that runs through the entire division at that point. or even if it's MVP himself and say Shelton Benjamin, that again could work out very well, and I'd be very interested to see where that goes. That's something I'd really like to see. Following on from that, we do have R-Truth, who goes Karate Kid on the ninjas. I find that when the ninjas are on screen, I tend to just sigh. I'm like, I'm not into it. I mean, again, I like seeing Akira Tozawa. I'd rather not see him with an army of ninjas. I don't think it makes any sense, and I just don't find it entertaining in the slightest. So I hope they move on from that as soon as possible. But seeing them 2 nights in a row, it makes me feel like they are going to be here to stay on Raw, and I'm not really into that. R-Truth is then again talking to Drew after Drew scares away the ninjas, and R-Truth tells him that now 24/7 title's not on the line, it's just the WWE Championship, which makes my heart bound even faster, because I was like, well, maybe they won't change 2 belts, maybe that's unlikely, but just a WWE Championship. And with the steam that Bobby Lashley has had recently, I was like, it's very possible that you bait and switch us at the pay-per-view, and you switch on Raw. I was very nervous, and I thought, could they just pin R-Truth and then Drew loses? I hope not. I really did hope not. But it had me invested, so I can't say anything wrong about it. I was gripped on that, and I wanted to see the match later to make sure that Drew, my fellow Scotsman, came away with the WWE Championship. Big Show, again, the voice of reason. You know, he again just suggested with the Viking Raiders and the Street Profits to have their Raw Tag Team title match next week on Raw. Thank you. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted in the first place. I didn't want the ninjas. I didn't want the cinematic stuff. I just wanted that title match, and now I finally get it. So, in the long run, I get what I want, but I'm just not a fan of the padding that went around it, really. But you know, beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. But still, I'd rather have just gotten that match at the pay-per-view. I don't know why we had to do it here. It could have been done much earlier, but you know, at least it's happening. Better late than never is what I think people would say to that. Next up, we have that tag team match that had me nervous all show. Lashley and MVP versus Drew and R-Truth for the WWE Championship. Good match. I enjoyed it. Drew was on a roll to begin with. It looked like he had the whole match won on his own. Then R-Truth tags himself in and instantly gets thrown into the opposing turnbuckle. And then again, heart starts pounding a bit more. Like, oh, don't let it happen. But no, Truth does get the hot tag. Drew comes back in. Truth does a great thing and takes Bobby Lashley out by hitting him off the steps. Claim on MVP. And then I thought he was going to just end it there, but no, he lets Truth get the pin with a big splash off the top, an assisted splash. So I felt a great deal of relief. The match had me invested, which is a great sign for it. That's all they can really hope for out of these matches. So I was really, really happy overall with that. Next up, we have Christian, who has now accepted Randy Orton's challenge for an unsanctioned match later in the night. We have Ric Flair coming to Christian to try and talk him out of it, saying no one in the back's going to think any less of you. You don't need to do this. It's a bad idea. And Rick was great here. He was really good. You really thought he was he actually cared for Christian, and you really thought it'd be. He's talking as again another voice of reason. You have 2 on either side. He's like, Randy is a killer right now. You don't want to get in the ring with him, especially in a non-sanctioned match, because there's no rules. He can do whatever he wants. So again, really great from Rick, but Christian is determined and he wants to go out. Christian and Ric Flair, 2 of the best promos around, so no complaints there from me. It was really good, and it kept me building and me wanting to see that unsanctioned match later, mainly because I've not seen Christian perform since 2014 when he retired, so I was really excited for this. I got less and less excited as the night went on, and I realised that there'd only be about 5 minutes left for the whole unsanctioned match, and then I realised this is story, not an actual match going. And I was right, which was fine, and we will get to that in a little bit also. After that, we have Bayley and Sasha Banks. Bayley, the birthday girl, who had a cake shaved into the back of her head, which is a bold haircut choice, but you know, whatever floats your boat. It's not for me, unfortunately. Decent promo. They I mean, people hate them. I mean, I find them really whiny and annoying, which is what they're meant to be. So they're doing a great job. The Iconics come out and they bait them. After Peyton Royce, I think, slapped Sasha Banks, at least Bayley accept their challenge for next week. So next week we do have another WWE Women's Tag Team title match. So I was right in saying that the Women's Tag Team titles are going to be defended much more frequently over the next wee while. I said mainly is because I think that Bayley's not got any credible challengers over on SmackDown for the Women's Championship until her split up from Sasha Banks, which will then lead to that big blow-off match. I'm kind of thinking it might be later than SummerSlam. I mean, I kind of hope they hold it off till next year's WrestleMania at this point, because I don't think they're going to have enough for build for SummerSlam, because that's only 2 months away. So I think it should definitely be next year's WrestleMania that they should be going for, Bayley versus Sasha. And I imagine that'll be in front of a live crowd, but, you know, the way things go, who knows? Especially after news broke today that the Performance Center recruits tested positive for COVID, so now they're testing everyone crazy. But yeah, here's hoping that everything's back to normal by that time. As yet, we get announced that Rey Mysterio's return next week. Again, brilliant to further on his story with Seth Rollins. Maybe it'll be a tag match. Maybe Rey and his son Dominic will be against Austin and Buddy, maybe, with Seth on the outside. Who knows? But I am very interested to see what is going to happen. Now we have a rematch from Backlash, where we have Asuka taking on Nia Jax again for the Raw Women's Championship. Now I was very annoyed by the double countout finish. Didn't like it. I mean, I get it. They didn't really want to. They don't want to end Asuka's reign, and they don't want Nia Jax to really lose at the moment. They wanted to appear as the monster of the women's division, and I get that. That's fair enough. But still, I think there's no shame in her tapping out to Asuka. She's done it before. She can do it again. It's not the first time. So, but this match, I think, again, played off the same kind of thing. A gnarly looking powerbomb on the mats outside, delivered by Jax to Asuka. That was another move that made me go, ooh. I mean, that won't tickle. Definitely not. But I think it was good overall. Nia hit her with the Samoan drop, making you think maybe Nia's got this, but no, Asuka got her foot under the bottom rope before the ref even started counting. So the ref just refused to count the fall, as he should, because she's out of bounds, and that's the rules. Nia Jax, being the big baddie that she is, took exception to this and pushed the referee over. John Cone, I think it was, pushed him over. He was about to call for the disqualification, which I would have thought, I can't do 2 non-finishes in a row. I mean, I get it, to make it just look like, no, it's just a bit of an ass. But, yeah, I didn't really fancy getting 2 non-finishes in a row. But then Asuka rolls her up. John Cone with the fast count. Asuka retains. I get why they've done it again. It's fine. Again, it wasn't great. Didn't stand out for me in any way, shape, or form. It was. I think this Raw was definitely more of a stuff happening kind of Raw rather than a match quality kind of Raw. So there was a few matches. They're all serviceable. They're all fine. But I think it's more stuff happened, like Christian, Big Show comes back, even Ric Flair there, stuff like that. So there's a lot of people there to kind of make the show better. But yeah. I get it. It keeps an asterisk over Nia Jax as well. So she's never really been beaten properly by Asuka at this point in this run, because John Cone did a fast count after being pushed because he was a bit pissy. Next we have Randy Orton cutting a promo on Christian. Obviously backstage again, he's on the top of his game now. Randy, he seems sadistic, he seems evil, and the best Randy Orton was Legend Killer Randy Orton. So 2004. Even all the way up to 2005, before the forgetting that we stint at the latter half of 2004 when he went face for a while, this is the best Randy Orton that I've seen in a long time. Rather than just being a normal baby face in the main event scene, it just doesn't really work. You need him as a heel. I need him to be the sadistic, crazy heel, and it is brilliant right now. Basically, Christian comes out. I'm pumped. I'm really up for it. Only 5 minutes left of the show though, so I'm like, oh, this isn't going to last long, and hopefully I hope Christian would win, but of course he's not, because I said it yesterday, when I recorded my Backlash review. I think Randy Orton is going to be facing Drew at SummerSlam, which basically means that he's going to be on a tear until then. So basically Ric Flair came out saying, don't do this, Christian, it's not worth it. He's like, no, Rick, I've got to do it. Ric Flair hits him with a low blow. So obviously Ric Flair and Randy Orton are still in cahoots with each other from back in the Evolution days. And punt kick again, and that's it all over. One move from Randy Orton, one move from Ric Flair, unsanctioned match over. Christian gets his neck put in a neck brace and gets carted out, with Randy again just being brilliant and talking, just saying this. You brought this on yourself. I didn't want this to happen, but you deserve it. You brought this on yourself by interrupting me. It's just brilliant, heel, sadistic, just brilliant, and I can't wait to see where Randy Orton goes next. Obviously, Edge isn't going to be around. Christian's not going to be around for a while. I want to see where he's going next, and I am really invested in it. Raw, it was good. It's again, for watching it in the UK, Raw is always a slog because I'm going to be up till 4 in the morning doing it. But this one, it kept me perked up at certain points. So especially just hearing all the Randy Orton stuff and the Christian stuff going on, that really kept me going through the show. I'm interested in where Andrade and Angel Garza are going. Apparently Vince McMahon is very high on Angel Garza, which I'm not surprised. He does remind me of a young Eddie Guerrero. And there's a lot of other things going on there as well. Natalya and Lana might be starting something new. MVP's faction might be coming together. So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to where Raw's going. It was a lot to get through. Loads of stuff happened in Raw, but it was entertaining throughout. So I think they did a good job with this one. Anyway, that's going to wrap up this video today with my review of Raw from the 15th of June 2020. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be back on Thursday with NXT, and then Saturday with SmackDown. I know it's only WWE stuff at the moment, but that's just the easiest content I can access just now. But that's when I'll be posting again. Again, hope to see you all then. Stay safe, and signing off.